Hello everybody, Salvadorian Warrior here. Today, we're going to talk about a support character for the Darkest Dungeon in the class mod review. If you've been watching my reviews, I thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. And, I just want to make sure most of the class mods that I've played in my playthrough so far get some recognition, just so if you're curious to try out these characters, you'll be well informed. And if you're interested, I'll leave a link in the description, and then you too can have a lot of fun. And so far I've shown off like one support character, a DPSer with some support skills with a Mark Synergy class, and a frontliner that's all about DPSing and stress healing. So I thought today I make a video about a character that is all about healing and maybe some damage for the back row. Also, if you're sick and tired of using Vessel like me and want a substitute, this is the perfect time to use mod characters. That being this character. Her name is Guqin, and she is all about healing and, of course, doing some damage in the back row. But her job isn't really all about doing DPS. She's just mostly a healer, and she can also stress heal sometimes, remove stun, and that's pretty much all she can do at the moment. Before we start talking about her combat skills and all that whatnot, let's just talk about her base stats first, and we'll work from there. So, as you can tell, even without this trinket, she has low HP. Like really, really low HP. And her dodge numbers are also pretty low. She has decent crit, but her damage isn't really all that great. It's being boosted by a trinket, but it's not that great. And as for protection, she doesn't have any protection, obviously. Like, she has, a quirk that gives her proc, and I'm using a trinket that's boosting her proc, but that's all she's getting. She doesn't even have that high speed. But since she's a healer, I guess it's not too bad. Still, though, I don't know, it's debatable. Some people like having their healers being fast, others not really. It just depends. Not only that, her stats are 50-50, because the stun is kind of low, blight is pretty high, same thing with bleeding. Her debuffing is really high, and the movement is like 120, which is cool if you're planning to put her in the front, but I would highly be against it due to the fact that you're just gonna have her in positions 3 or 4. Other than that, this is basically her. You may be thinking, well, this is kind of underwhelming. You sure she's good? And I'm gonna tell you right now, man, all of it is basically high risk, high reward. This character is all about high risk, high reward. Let's just go over the combat skills, and I'll come back and talking about that whole high risk. So, overall, in summary, her base stats are really low. Her resistances are pretty decent at the same time. As for a healer, this is expected. But her healing is probably her best part of her role as a support class character. But like I said, let's just talk about the combat skills first before I start gushing about how cool she is in healing. So the first combat skill is the longbow. It can be used in positions 3 to 4 and can hit positions 2 to 4. The accuracy is 115, so that's pretty good. And the crit mod is 6%, so you put that together and it's like 12%. And if the enemy is guarding, it will have a armor piercing of 65. The slightly downside, which shouldn't be the downside, is that she gets a negative 5% in range damage. That only lasts for 1 battle. It's not too bad. It really isn't too bad. Now you're wondering, where is her longbow? And that, my friend, is in her Guqin, a Chinese instrument that she carries with her. Yeah, I tripped out too when I figured out why she's called Guqin. But other than that, yeah, this is one of her answers to back row, and she will hit her target. And if you give her some range trinkets, oh yeah, she's gonna be hitting her target a lot too. So she can do it if you choose to do so. Now, let's talk about her next combat skill. Her next combat skill is Blitz. It's a move that can be used in any position, and this move pushes her back, and it gives her a buff. The buff is she can bypass stealth. She gives herself 13 accuracy, and she activates a hidden ability, which is the Leech Bolt. The Leech Bolt will give all of her allies or herself. Oh, I'm jumping ahead. Leech Bolt will give herself a +5 heal for 1 round. The debuff is that she gets that negative drawback of 5% range damage. That only lasts for 1 battle. But it does not waste a turn. That is pretty amazing. Now, I'm not sure if the buffs / debuffs stack, but let's just pretend that maybe it kind of does. Let me know in the comments if you have used her and can confirm that it can stack. All you need to know is that you use this move once, and after that, it doesn't end your turn. You know what? Now that I remember, I take back what I said. Once you use Blitz, I don't think you can use it again. That would be too broken if it's like endless. But just so you know, you use this move once, it won't end your turn, and you'll be able to do whatever you want. But I feel like this move was done on purpose, just so you can use this move. Because once you're done using Blitz, this move activates. Leech Bolt. Leech Bolt is a range move that has an accuracy base of 110. You get that penalty damage of negative 25%, and the crit mod is a +3%. And on self, you give yourself 5 more HP. And if it hits, there's a 33% chance that your allies will get a 3 HP. And of course, there's a debuff of a 5% range damage. That only lasts for 1 battle. So yeah, this is the high risk thing that I was talking about. Like, it's a 33% chance that you'll get that AoE heal. If you don't get that AoE heal, then She only heals herself, and that's pretty much the end of that chapter. And sometimes, and I'm not gonna lie, right? When you don't get it, it's anger inducing. But when you do get it, it ends up being one of those hype moments, like the, oh shit, I just got the AoE heal. And I'll get into that later. But just remember, Blitz first, Leech Bolt after. So these two moves go hand in hand. The next move, which is something that I find pretty hilarious, is the counter song. The counter song can be used in any position, and of course she de-stresses the target by 6%. I mean by -6 stress, and she forces an ally to guard for her, and the target can't be marked. Now, something that I figured out along the way when trying out the Guqin class. You guys remember Crusader? Remember his move where not only does he light torches, but he gives himself 25% of protection, but marks itself at the same time. Well, if you purposely lower the Crusader's speed and you have Guqin go first and use the counter song on the Crusader, here comes the Crusader, and he uses that move, and the marked target gets blocked, and now he gets the 25%. Now you may be thinking, well, that defeats the purpose of being marked, because you're supposed to draw attention to the enemy. Let me tell you something, folks. Sometimes that doesn't work. So there's a huge purpose. There's a huge reasoning why her stats are so low, because she forces characters like the Crusader or any other tank class that can tank hits be used to guard for her. And what's really interesting about her guard skill, it lasts quite a while. She can guard for a really long time than most guard character skills can. I don't know if that makes any sense, but guard skills usually last for maybe 2 to 3 turns. This one lasted 4 turns, and I was really surprised. So when she's guarding, this move also goes hand in hand, and that's Lullaby. It can be used in positions 2 to 4, and she heals herself by 5, and while guarding, she heals the target by 5, and if she's guarding, it gets an extra 5 points in heals. If you weren't guarding, you'll just heal your allies by 5. But if you're guarding, 10 points of heal. So, going back to turn 1, you want to do this first, and on your next turn, you start healing. But you got to make sure you're healing, you got to make sure you're blocking or forcing someone to block for you that has a lot of HP or protection, because if she's being guarded by someone, then she can use Lullaby and give everyone else those 10 points of HP. And if you need to heal yourself, well, you go this to this. I think it's pretty cool. A really unique way of playing a heal character. It almost feels like these moves that go hand in hand feel like some sort of dance, which makes sense of this character since she's a Guqin class. She plays her instrument and at the same time dances for her audiences. That's how I look at it. So pretty cool. Cool stuff. Now let me talk about the situational moves. Like this one. Harpoon is a melee attack that has an accuracy base of 105 and also has a negative damage mod of negative 33%. However, it has a crit mod of 7% and knocks back the enemy 2 spaces. Did I mention it can be used in positions 1 through 4 and can hit enemies from 1 to 2? I just want to make sure I get that out of the way. And just so you know, it's not that strong, but there is a trinket out there for her that boosts her melee attack, so it can be stronger. However, I can only see myself using this move if she's somehow pushed around in a shuffling party team, or some of the enemies does it and you're somehow in positions 1. But then you can just use blitz and get pushed back. But then again, you won't be able to do your healing stuff, or at least your guard stuff. Oh yeah, you can still do your guard stuff. But what if you want to do your longbow stuff? What if you're crazy enough and you want to do, you know, offensive stuff? Then all of a sudden you want to use the harpoon move. So it's okay, I guess. I used it a few times in the beginning. It's okay, you know. If you want, you can. It's there. Just be careful. Excuse me. Be careful, because if you're being offensive, you just gotta remember your base stats, where your limits are. It's like the same thing with the occultist. Like, he has an offensive move, and you know, that's really cool and all, but he also has squishy HP, and you want to make sure you remember. But the difference between, well, you know what? I take that back. If you really, really want to make her offensive, I guess I recommend you give her trinkets that boost her attacks and dodges. She starts off at 25 dodge, and there's trinkets out there that can boost it up by 10 to 15. Just putting that out there. The last combat skill is Dissonance. It can be used in positions 3 to 4 and can hit enemies from 1 to 3. The accuracy base is 115. There's a penalty damage mod of -90%, but it stuns the enemy, and if your allies are stunned, you can clear the stuns. It's alright. This is probably the highest stun move from what I've seen so far. Most stun moves have like low accuracy and stuff. This is the only one that I've seen that has a pretty high accuracy, so that's pretty cool. In summary, I like using this, but if you really want to, dog, if you really, really, really want to, you can do this. You know, you do this, and you know, you do some damage here and there, and if you feel like someone's in danger, you can just heal them and be okay. Or, you know, you don't have to go melee. You can just stick to this and hope that the thing happens. But then again, you know, you can also do this too and hope for the best that you can stun someone. But that's if you're fastest, and you know, you can do all this. But if you want to play it safe, I just recommend this, because hold on. There you go. I recommend this because in the beginning you want to guard someone with high protection so they can protect you, and then on your next turn you can do this, and if you're in danger you can do this to this, or if you want to flip those coins, do this and hope for that big AoE heal. It's crazy what you can do with this character, but she's not a full-on damager, because the negative range debuffs can kind of hurt if you're abusing it all the time. So I just recommend, you know, you do the big damage if you're in danger, and if you're not in danger, just, you know, chill and heal your allies. That's all. Now let's talk about her camping skills. Her camping skills are probably like, you know, She gets the basic ones like most mod characters. Encourage, wounded care, and pep talk. Boring. But, like most mod characters, and I feel like I repeated this sentence like 5 times now. She gets 4 unique camping skills. The first one is the Undying Song. It's a time cost one, and it just gives all of her companions a 100 plus healing received when guarding. This lasts for 4 battles. So this is interesting because if they are doing the guarding, like protecting the Guqin, they're gonna get that heal. If they're not protecting her, they won't get that heal. And it's funny because whenever the Crusader is protecting the Guqin, he's the only one that's suffering. and it's pretty funny because when he's like getting close to dying, and you heal the dude, all of a sudden he doesn't get that plus 10. Instead he gets like plus 18 heals, sometimes at full with a 25 heal. So this is pretty good to any hero that is protecting the Guqin and taking more abuse than any other ally on the team. Really good stuff. Plus it's a time cost 1, super cheap. You know how I feel about cheap. The next one is the Seeking Song. It's a time cost 3, and only on the self. She gives herself a plus 25 stress, but can scout 20% in the dungeon. She can also give all of her companions a 20% trap disarm chance. These last for 4 battles. A plus 25 stress just to scout the area, it's not all that great. But to give everyone a plus 20% of trap disarm, now that is something that can be, raising eyebrows on. Because, what if someone needs that boost in disarming traps? That's all I'm saying. I just find it really, really hilarious that, you can give someone a boost in disarming traps, and this person can do that for them. So this one's kind of fair. It's not too busted, but it's fair. I would do it if you want to see how lowsy most things can get. The next camping skill is the Warding Song. It's a time cost 3, and only on one companion only will give themselves a 66% of guard duration and plus 3 speed. This lasts for 4 battles. Now, remember what I said about her guard skill, where they're forced to protect her? If you want the guard skill to last even longer, if you're in those endless modes or you're fighting a boss, this is perfect. The 3 speed, however, might be bad if you're not planning to use the shenanigans between her and the Crusader, because you want the Crusader to go last. That's all I'm saying. Overall, it's still a good skill. Guard duration is hell yeah in my book, since that's what she's all about. And since her base stats are pretty low, with that guard skill, she's gonna need someone to have her constantly guard for maybe an extra 2 turns maybe. But that's only if they're fighting bosses. I only recommend this skill if you're coming up against a boss. That's it. That's all I recommend if you're gonna use this skill. The last guard skill is kind of hilarious because, she's gonna have someone blocking for her anyway. So this is okay. It's called the Dazzling Song. It's a time cost 2, and she gives herself a debuff of -10 dodge, but she gives all of her companions a plus 10 dodge. Now I know what you're thinking, and this is something I didn't touch on, but I ended up believing once I saw the dodge numbers get higher and higher with the butcher bird. Giving everyone a plus 10 dodge, and if their dodge numbers are passing the 40 numbers, then this is really, really good. Giving herself a negative 10 dodge isn't so bad, because she's gonna have someone be blocking for her anyway. What is she gonna dodge? A chance to get hit if she is guarding? I never seen that in my life, unless it's an AoE attack, then shit. But if it's not an AoE attack, then this move is really good. I recommend using this as well, since most of her camping skills are like really, really cheap. The only one that's expensive are these two, but the ones that I'm gonna recommend right now, the Undying Song and the Dazzling Song, is the two camping skills you're probably gonna only be using because they're so cheap and really, really good. If you're not planning to use the Dazzling Song, then using a time cost for both either the Undying Song or this, but let's be real here, you're only gonna be using this, and you're gonna be only using the Undying Song and the Warden Song if you're coming upon a boss. So in summary, her time cost will cost around 3 to 4, and that's 2 camping skills, and that's something that hardly any hero gets to do. So trinkets, I don't know why I have this. I really, really don't know why. I really thought she was gonna get hit all the time, and she was gonna be at the verge of death. But maybe it's my fault because I was using this, lowering her max HP and everything. See, I purposely made her weak. But you know what? That's okay, because she's got her buddy Crusader here, who ignore these trinkets, who's gonna be using Bulwark of Faith. And if you use this move last, after she's done blocking, oh yeah, he's gonna get that 30% proc, my bad. I said 25, but 30% proc, and he's not gonna get that marked target, which is super good, and he's gonna be taking hits. And around like the middle of your dungeon runs, when he's dying, you're gonna want to start doing some heals on him. Maybe do it 2 times, or if you're lucky enough, you do this to this, and you sit back and you laugh because you got that AoE heal. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about the Guqin class. Is she good? Well, she's a healer, so I guess I can say she is, but she's not a damager. Let me repeat, if you want to get rid of some back row people, you're gonna need some help from those who can do damage in the back row, or at least, can reach at an arm's length to hit the back row. And if you feel like they're a threat, go out of your way to get rid of it. But never lose sight at your true role into being the healer for the team. That's my huge recommendation with this character. Always guard with someone who has a lot of proc, and during the duration, use that time to heal your allies and all that whatnot. She's really good. However, kind of misunderstood because she has a long bow, and people just think, oh man, she must do 360 no scopes. But no, she's just a healer. That's all. And don't worry if she does less damage. Who cares? Now, if the heals did less heals, then I'll be worried. So, again, if you don't like using Vessel, or you got bored with Vessel, take up Guqin. It might change your life. Until then, I will leave a link in the description of this class mod character. I'll give shout outs to the creators behind this character. And of course, once this video ends, the next video that we'll play will show off what she can do in the field of battle. And I'll leave a timestamp to where that occurs. If you guys have been clicking on those timestamps, that's really, really awesome of you guys. If you just watch the whole video, you're even awesomer, if that's actually a real word, because you know, I just do this thing for fun as a hobby, or maybe just the fact that I'm hyped for Darkest Dungeon 2 and I'm just playing all these characters until Darkest Dungeon 2 comes out. I don't know. Whatever my motivation is into making these videos, I make them for the sake of making them. And if you're watching them, I thank you for checking these videos out. So, with that said, like and subscribe, comment, and take care of yourselves. Take care. And I will see you in the next class mod review. Take care, everybody.
Now they are as twisted as my own ambitions. flesh creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.